feel, you know, hey, well, we need help, somebody putting
We'll
in
call this meeting of the Committee of the Whole to order at 6:45. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen? Mayor Murphy?
Here,
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Doherty?
Here.
Mr. Burchett?
Here.
Mrs. Witt?
Here.
Ms. Marcus?
Here. We have the approval of the minutes from the November 9th meeting. Hearing no changes or corrections, they will be approved as they are. Hearing none, they are approved. The Finance Director, do you have a report?
No report, thank you.
City Manager,
I have no report, Ms. Marcus, thank you.
Mayor Murphy,
I have no report, but thank you.
Law Director.
I just have one item, that's to request a motion and vote to have an executive session at the end of this meeting with no business to follow for matters pertaining to employment and/or appointment and compensation of a public employee and potential lease of real property.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session after this meeting with no business to follow.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. Clerk of Council, do you have anything?
I have nothing other than Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go into business, the bucket truck purchase for 2024.
Yeah, this is a capital item for 2024. And I know it's probably earlier than usual getting them on the cow, but what we've been running into is that everyone we've talked to, there's a huge price increase as soon as January comes. So most of these are being reserved for us, so my goal was to try to get them as quick as we can. But the bucket truck is to replace the 1995 bucket truck that we currently have that will not pass safety inspection. We've put more than enough money trying to get it to do that, and it still will not pass inspection, so we feel that it was time to replace it. So this will be to replace that piece of equipment.
And Chris, this is budgeted, right?
Yes, it's a budgeted item.
Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the proper legislation be prepared for the next meeting.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. The next item is the purchase of 2024 crew cab truck and upfitting for a truck to include snow package.
Yes, this is another capital item for 2024 to put into the fleet as another plow truck for us, to keep the neighborhoods, the parking lots, and all that stuff clear. And it's going to be replacing, I'm sorry, this one actually is not replacing a vehicle. This is replacing one that we had already had to get rid of that didn't get replaced. But it is a budgeted item.
I'll make a motion.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. The next item is purchasing of 2024 John Deere tractor and upfit for tractor.
Yeah, this is to replace a tractor that we purchased in 2007 that the motor blew up in, and we sent it out to try to have repaired, and we're told that it was like a 1 or a 2 year model that they did not have parts for. It could not be repaired. So this is to replace that, but we are able to save the decks, the mowing decks, and that's what the upfit is for, is to put the old decks onto the new tractor to try to save some money. But this is to replace a 2007 tractor that could not be repaired.
Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
Is this a budgeted item?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
budgeted item. Sorry.
No, my thing's not. I'll make a motion that we prepare legislation for the next meeting for the John Deere tractor and outfit for the tractor.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. The next item is the purchasing of 2 dump trucks and unfitting for both trucks.
Yes, this is this is a budgeted item to replace 2 of our older dump trucks that we have put a lot of money into to try to keep on the road. And we've got our fingers crossed that we'll get through this season with those 2 dump trucks. But this will do a great deal in updating our fleet, so we have the ability to stay out there and keep the roads cleared for the residents. And it is a budgeted item.
What does it mean by unfitting?
It's supposed to say upfitting. So you buy the trucks and then you upfit with the plow, the salt box,
Because I'm wondering.
all that, so.
All right, I thought so, but just want to make sure.
I'll make a motion that we purchase 2 dump trucks and the upfitting for both trucks.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. Okay, the next one, we have the Table of Organization, Police Division Sergeant.
Hi. If you remember, we requested and you approved in the budget an extra sergeant slot, a 6th sergeant slot for the police department. And because that's an additional slot, we need an adjustment to the table of organization to add that on.
And if I may jump in, it's not on here, but Don and I also caught that the TO will need to be changed to include the new building maintenance position, the full-time position, and the part-time position that were also authorized as part of the 2024 budget. So Don, are those the 3 in total, if I'm getting it correctly? Okay. So
Do they
we-
have, oh, I'm sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
Do they have to be specific on their own, Martina, or can they be added in with this?
They can be added in.
Okay.
That's all I have.
I'll make a motion that we change the table of organization, or make the table of organization amendment to the police sergeant and the 2 in the building and maintenance.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is the Christmas tree lighting discussion.
Yeah, I brought this up at the meeting on Friday just to have a conversation about next year's Christmas tree lighting. If this building is going to be under renovation or things are going on, we don't know what will happen in here. So the Christmas tree lighting, I just wanted to talk to you about it now before like October next year, and we're running into this and we're all busy. So I just wanted to put it out there, like any thoughts of moving into the rec center or something like that. I know there's a lot of work the street department's done out here this year to get it ready. But if this isn't available next year, what do we want to do with the Christmas tree lighting for 2024?
I'd say,
When will we know it won't be available?
yeah.
So we have.
I don't know that.
Let me jump in, and Rocky's looking at me because he knows I'm going to lean on him here. I believe the design work that was just approved tonight is going to take 3 or 4 months. Is that accurate, Rocky?
Yeah, I'm guessing project, we should be firing up probably middle of summer. That's my guess.
So it could very well, and the project would take how long? I don't even know if you have an estimate on that.
I think realistically, we're probably looking close to a year.
But that is inside or outside?
Well,
I mean, what's gonna
it's-
get started first?
It will be a conjoined, since how we changed how we're
Phase
going.
1 and 2 together.
We're working as, kind of, as a whole building this time, instead of where we were separating it before. And this also includes the renovation on the front of the building, the glass.
Right.
So that it's going to be, it's going to be a pretty big construction zone at that point.
I think we could maybe work to determine maybe if it was held outside, if we had them do the glass area first, but I know they're coming through here, they're going into administration, IT, the front. obviously everything in clerk of courts area. So I think what Brenda's kind of stating is this area, especially bad weather or whatever, likely would not be available.
Well, can we wait until he gets the design
Design.
and they decide what they're gonna start? Because they're the people that's gonna,
Well,
Yeah, that's the determining factor, I agree.
well, and to the design, right, then leads into a bid for the construction. And then we need to know whoever wins that, when could they actually start the project? Although I think it was good for Brent to bring it
Right.
up, just so that we are
oh, I
starting to
agree,
think
think
about
about
it.
it.
Well, I guess
That
it
they-
wouldn't just be the Christmas tree lighting. You're talking Memorial Day,
Right,
Veterans Day.
right,
Veterans
right.
I mean, there's a couple
Yeah.
other things that are done here that might be impacted as well.
Right, and I agree, we need to start thinking about it, but until he comes back, I don't wanna move it, and then here
Yeah.
comes December, and we could have had it here.
I'm not saying, I just wanted it to
Yeah.
be on your mind.
Mind.
Because like I said, next October,
Yeah.
if we're talking about it, it's gonna be Boo Bash and Community Halloween Party, and
Right.
Christmas Smiles coming up. So we're gonna be relatively busy at that time, which honestly kind of opens us up for maybe a bigger discussion. So like this year, I know the parking is always a problem for this event. So like, we need to maybe figure something out, how we can handle the parking a little bit better, because I was informed today that a couple people were over at Fat Daddy's, watching it from Fat Daddy's. So we want everybody over here. We don't want them scattered, and if they can't park, we shut off the whole front of this building. So that eliminates all that parking. I don't know if we want to change that to get more parking out front. It's gonna interfere with Santa and the fire truck.
So, and we will have that struggle for '24, but I believe in '25 is when our agreement, and
gone
then
there.
Barrett is going to they're going to expand that parking lot for us and completely resurface it. So I think we would
So-
have the challenge for another year,
Just another area.
unless there's delays on the 75 project. But then at that point, Barrett is supposed to start making us a monthly payment, not just the agreement for, refurbishing the existing lot.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, we're always welcoming to do it at the rec center. I know it's tradition here, I understand that. But just the availability, the parking, all that, we can do more stuff that night for the event. I was just kind of throwing that out there too. I know it's not tradition and not what we've done for however long, but it is there for those purposes too, so.
Well, we have to go through a little breakage to get to the final product. So we could, if we get to the point where we decide, we could do everything over there and still have our lights and everything out here, our tree and everything out
absolutely.
here.
Well, you'd have
So-
to have 2 trees.
Well, but they've got big trees over there that they could decorate.
We can figure that out.
But for tree lighting, if we move it down there, then we have to have a tree that we're gonna turn on at that point.
I said, and they've got trees, we could decorate one,
Like
turn
an
it on.
existing tree, like an
Yeah,
outdoor live tree.
yeah, just do one
One
just
that's
for
out
that,
on
and
site.
then invite them to drive by here and see the beautiful tree that
Right.
lights up at
Right.
the same time.
Right.
I'd also like to point out that we could always look at the Civic Center as a location with
Mm-hmm.
a large decorated tree right next to the interstate there
On
that
top of
could
the
really
building.
stand out and, have
Top of
people
the building.
kind of take notice of that too.
A Christmas tree on top of the building.
We'll do it wherever you say. I just wanted to throw it out there though, that
Within
we're
budget
probably gonna run
limitations.
into something next year, so.
But it's good to think ahead.
Yes,
And that's all I'm just trying to think.
no, that's perfect. We do need to start thinking about it, and with Rusty telling us what's going on, we can make the decision as fast as you can get us the information. If it's gonna be torn up, then the sooner we know it, the better. Then we can start making plans right away.
Thank you.
I'll update you whenever I hear something. You guys will be the first to know.
Okay.
Is that it for the Christmas tree lighting discussion? Does anybody have anything else? Okay. New application submissions for boards and commissions?
I'd just like to point out one thing, that the second one that we have, Cody Bernogden or whatever, he's not a registered voter, so that makes him ineligible for the board.
Eddie, you mean Eddie? His name,
Oh, who did I say?
Cody.
Oh, from here it did look like Cody. I'm too far
I
back.
just thought it was somebody you knew.
I was trying to figure out how to pronounce his last name. But anyway, he's not eligible to be on the board. At this point, he can always register and come back and reapply.
Do they have to be a registered
Well,
voter
no,
for any
I'll just
length
leave
of time?
I think I've got the, I just looked at that, it just,
This guy is a council, said he's 7 years, but he is not a registered voter in this city. And he didn't mark anything. No. So we have one word actually, oh, this one wants everything, yeah.
I wanted to let you know that there were applications included in your packet, but I printed them off because I received some after the packet came out. So that's why I printed them all off for you all to take a look at. I know a bunch of them, checked more than one board. We do have openings on Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals and Merit System that we desperately need people
Yeah.
for those boards. Parks and Recreation and Tree Board, we will have one person not returning. So we will have a vacancy on that board, but they would still have a quorum with the four members that they have, so.
okay.
We are down to 3 on the planning commission.
Yes.
So we are struggling there, most definitely. And I think, Amy, aren't we also short on the CRHC?
The three, I thought we still have the 3.
We do, okay.
I think we
Won't
do.
even ask.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody's
Are
terms
you a
expiring or
registered
anything?
voter? And
I'll have to double check on the CRHC.
No, but
Yeah.
I was going, or wanted to know if it had
I
a,
do have a couple more people that are interested, and they're turning in applications.
Awesome.
I just received one while we were sitting here.
Okay, great.
So I'll get that forwarded over to you, and then I
Okay.
have one that's supposed to have something submitted, an application turned in by tonight.
Okay.
She is extremely interested in the CRHC.
Okay, great.
Mike, make sure the registered voters.
I'm just forwarding applications.
Oh, okay. I know they asked you different things, and if you, when you answer them, just make sure that you, other than that they lived in the city, that they're a registered voter.
Right, right.
Just if they ask you a question is all.
Yeah, and I'm just asking for
Yeah.
applications and forwarding it to
Right.
Amy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I would have to double check the registered voter because I've had numerous people tell me when I'm passing my petition for election that they were a registered voter and then found out they weren't.
Right.
They think they voted years ago, they're still registered, and after so many years, it can drop off
Yeah.
if they don't vote.
That's something I can double check with Board of Elections.
and
for
it
you.
does not say how long. They just have to be a registered voter. Like council, you have to live 6 months or something in the same place.
It's easy enough to tell if they're
Yeah.
registered voter, Board of
It's on
Elections website,
section
you can put in the name and find out
Mhm.
if they're a registered voter.
How
Yes.
long do they have to be a resident, or could you?
It doesn't, on the boards, it doesn't say anything, it just says they have to be an elector. So, it gives no qualifications like council and the mayor, so.
Okay, well.
So I would say if it's not implied, it's not required.
Do we want to wait until we get more applications in before we start putting people on board?
No, let's do the 2 we got, we need them.
We got more than 2 here.
We have more than 2, and like I said, I do have another application I just need to forward over to you, and then somebody that promised one for tonight too. The one that I just received, I think that he would be a really good fit. He's interested, he's actually in real estate, and he lives in Oak Point. And it would be nice just, I don't know if we can vote again and go on with that at a later point as well.
Well, I would, Amy just indicated to me that you're going to check to see if there's any that are expiring
Yes,
on some of these
yes,
boards.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So would
I
that
could double check
clarify,
those. Yeah.
would that help clarify how many positions we're actually going to have open?
Well, I think we're on the other ones beside the CRHC, I think we're good with the ones who are returning. I've already heard from the ones who are not.
Okay.
The Planning Commission and the BZA, we would still have a quorum. of 3, but we do
But
need
we
to
need
fill.
5.
Yeah, we do need 5 of those, so.
Well, have you checked these on Zot to find out if they are registered voters?
I
know
can do
some-
that. I can do that.
So I guess we need to wait, we need to check. I know some of these are registered voters. The others, we don't, nobody
Yeah, we know.
knows that they
We know
actually
the
are.
first one's
The
good.
first one we know is good,
So we
yes.
could vote on that one.
We can vote on that one. But do you guys want to wait until we make sure that they are registered
Well,
instead of putting them on a board and
know
then
for
finding
sure
out
that
that
he
they're
is.
not?
Yeah, we should do the
Aren't we
first
going
one.
to have interviews? We normally have interviews, I believe.
That's true, we do usually.
Okay,
I think that may be a good idea.
okay, well, then,
We can set up interviews for next
January.
meeting or the last meeting in January or however you all want to
The
work it.
last meeting.
You want the last meeting?
yeah, let's do the last meeting in January.
Okay. I believe we'll have the TIB and CIC and NCA meetings that night too. I'm sorry.
I don't mind the first meeting in January, so.
Those are pretty quick.
The only trouble with
Yes, they're all quick. They're all quick.
Okay,
Yeah.
the other thing that I thought needs to be brought up before this meeting is over tonight, we have to set the meeting for the 2nd of January.
Do you all want it for the 2nd of January?
We have to, don't
have
we,
We-
to,
We,
The fir- it
we
has to
have a
be
BZA meeting on the 2nd of January at 6.
we'll have to
Change.
So.
They will move, they will have to change.
Well, if they're advertised, well, no, that.
So, because
We
they
have
have
to
to
do
be,
We have to be sworn
Sworn
in, we
in.
can't do anything, so we have to be as soon as possible, it says.
right,
Can that be during the day?
everyone.
Sorry, it says a regular organizational meeting shall be held during the first week in January of even-numbered years.
So,
So it could be even third.
Yeah, it just says the first week. I have Clayton Thursday, so,
yeah.
But it could also be during the day,
yeah,
right?
that's true.
If that fit everyone on council.
I mean,
It
It's a-
shouldn't be a
it's-
very long
no, it's
meeting.
not a
We
long
just
meeting at
appoint
all.
everybody, yeah.
And then appointing them to any boards that they currently have
Correct,
to
correct.
reside on as well, yeah.
so do it like at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, the 2nd?
Martina?
That'd be fine, and then our BZA would move forward at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock Tuesday, the 2nd should be good.
Wanted to make sure we got that through.
Anything else on the board and commission appointment? Nobody has any questions? Okay, and that's all for business. Have staff and council reports. Let's start with the police department.
I have nothing further, ma'am. Thank you.
Fire department,
Nothing to report, ma'am, thank you.
street department,
Yeah, sorry for all the items tonight, but myself and department appreciate all those purchases. And other than that, just wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
building department,
No report, but Merry Christmas, everybody.
thank you. City planner,
Yes, just want to say thank you again for welcoming me into the city. It's been a great experience meeting everyone. Everyone's been very helpful, and just want to say thank you again. The only item of business I was going to bring up, Mr. Davis mentioned that there is a planning commission meeting on December 19th at 6 PM and a BZA meeting on January 2nd. Other than this, I have nothing further to report. Thank you.
Parks and Rec,
Yeah, I just want to say a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
law director,
Just to say Merry Christmas as well, thank you.
finance director,
Perhaps I should have mentioned this book at the regular meeting, but this is more exhaustive info for the 2024 budget. It includes an overview. It has all of the 27 fund summaries, as well as the major operational departments and our capital improvement plan. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to ask. This will be available to the departments as well. My intent for this was to also be something that we could give to the public if anyone wants it, because this is the actual voted upon numbers now. And if you do not want to keep your paper copies, you can just leave them here tonight and we will grab them and keep them on hand for anyone who would like a copy. So I just wanted to point that out. So that's all I have, and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
City manager.
I have nothing further, Ms. Marcus, but to say Merry Christmas to all of council and staff. Thank you.
Mayor Murphy.
Nothing else to report, but thank you and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Clerk of council.
I already said Merry Christmas, but Merry Christmas again.
Mr. Burchett.
No report. Thank you.
Mr. Dowdy.
No reports. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Mr. Miller.
Nothing else tonight, thank you.
Mrs. Witt.
Yes, Chris, Merry Christmas to the street department. They got Christmas early. Nobody else could get anything because Chris got it all tonight. Everyone have a safe and Merry Christmas.
I will say yours is the most decorated building though in the city.
And they have a lot of new equipment. But they're worth it, I have to say.
Mrs. Allen.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone, and a safe New Year.
And I have nothing else to add, so we will adjourn at this time to executive session.
Fix this.
I know.
Oh, finally got it. Don, the book is very nice, thank you.
Well, he didn't tell us that part.
Really not hers.